CIA triad. Well, I don't want to say it's a useless thing, but it's a bit of an obsolete concept in cybersecurity. Because yes, this is great thinking. This is when the whole movement started. Confidentiality, integrity, availability. So what was your protection objective? But that were the times where data privacy laws were not so strict. There were no big penalties. It was all basically a bit of a Wild West style. So therefore, you had to make decisions which ones you're gonna focus on, because ultimately that's what it does. These terms are used as flags. Mainly, you could, for example, say, common model, for development of your information security management system, which then results in policies and methods and measures. So each method, measure, policy has a flag, and you can say this is more to improve confidentiality, this is more to ensure integrity, and this is something for availability. So there was kind of a decision flag in the past to say, what is my business like? Because you have to align it with your business objectives by saying, am I having a high availability system because it supports my business model? But then again, it doesn't mean you can drop confidentiality. So it's not that you can go through your ISMS and say, what I have to do to improve availability, because confidentiality at the moment is not my focus point. I find it's now coming up a bit with my opinion earlier than at the end of this episode. These are foundational principles only. It's good to put a name on it, but technically, as of today, confidentiality and integrity is non-negotiable. I think with confidentiality, everyone is with me that because of privacy laws, because of the very fast way how individuals can whistleblow and highlight that their personal data has been breached, and especially the all these reveals on the internet. So confidentiality definitely not a negotiable, but integrity is usually a hint that the confidentiality might be breached as well. Because if you as a customer calling the call center and say, I would like to change my address, or you go online and log into your account and you want to update your postal code, and then you see someone else's record in there, someone's date of birth, you may probably assume, they just got it wrong, but maybe it's someone else. Maybe you see someone else's name and someone else's date of birth. The integrity has been breached, and ultimately also the confidentiality has been breached because records just not gotten tampered with in terms of being modified and non-readable, but they got mixed up. Mixed up is a confidentiality breach. So therefore, if C and I in this triad are non-negotiable, we're only left with the option of availability. And the option of availability usually is not a choice in terms of what I use or do according to my ISMS. The availability is usually a cost factor, because availability, the higher the cost, develops exponentially, because you can recover, you can have a certain downtime, but if you have to keep a system hot all the time with a failover, with a hot standby, with a hot disaster recovery site, that is where the money flows, because you're technically having like 4 or 5 live systems running at the same time with all the data in it. And nowadays, as you know, even in the cloud, where resources can be scaled and they can be spin up and spin down to reduce the cost, but still holding data redundant is the problem, and that it increases the cost. And therefore, I wouldn't even say it's like a decision from the ISMS perspective. because you rather look at your budgets and you look at your service impact. That should be the driver, yeah? And therefore that makes a decision point. So consider impact of the CIA flag on your cybersecurity efforts, yeah? But at the end of the day, as I say, every cybersecurity activity hints to confidentiality and integrity, and this has to be ensured at all times. And availability is then secondary, where you can see where do I have to compromise. Because if you have the choice between availability and confidentiality, there's no choice. Confidentiality comes first, and then you have to see, because of these additional, why I'm saying it, because for confidentiality, you have to maybe encrypt your data. You have to use certain mechanisms and methods to protect the data. That all slows down the system. This might be a performance impact. Performance impact has to be countermeasured with some additional resources. These additional resources cost money. If you want to have the system superbly available, you have to double these resources again. And these are all these things that you would be dealing with, and you have to make cost decisions. And that may end up to be a very different discussion than discussing it from a security point of view. Yeah? So therefore, again, it's a bit of an obsolete one, because again, I find it's a no-brainer, because it's CIA, CI is always there, must be always there, and it's more an availability question. So technically, if you say you perform a proper service impact or business impact analysis, and then you decide how much security you can let go to achieve that, because ideally you always secure it to the max, and then you see, I maybe have performance issues. What can I relieve a little bit to meet that SLA with the business? But if you can't meet it, security comes first. You have to tell them, look, when we have to achieve your performance goals and your cost goals, yeah, because and sometimes you even maybe not lucky because money can't fix the problem. But let's say if you want to achieve performance and cost targets, there's no compromise on the cybersecurity objective. Therefore, one of the two others have to let go a little bit. Yeah. And that's why I say it drifts into the service impact analysis and say, do you really need that system up in 4 hours? Do you really need that system to be recovered to the last half an hour? Let's say the recovery point objective. Yeah. Is that really necessary? Yeah. Or can we compromise here a little bit on availability? We can apologize to the customers. We can put some other countermeasures in place. Let's say if the system is down, therefore we have a special hotline people can call just to entertain them, because some people will understand, yeah, and just say good, rather they are secure and therefore they have a downtime. Yeah. Other people will definitely not understand it, but then you have to entertain them with a hotline so that they can call and say, system is not working, what is wrong? And then you give them some nice pat on the back and say everything is good. We didn't want to compromise security, so we took the system like this and down, and it will be up within the next couple of hours. It's a very valid business case, and sometimes it's even cheaper to do it like that than ensuring or basically propagating that you have it 100% up and available all the time, because then when you're then down because of other serious reasons, then it's even worse. Yeah, because the promise have not been fulfilled. Here at least you say, well, realistic is this, yeah, and we have to live with it, and we have to deal with the consequences, and we rather professionally deal with them than overpromise, and then there will be a situation where we can't deliver it. Definitely there will be. There will be some ransomware will take you, and then trust me, you will not be ready in half an hour, and you will have to redo the whole plan, and all the communication you've done before to promise everything, and all the money you've spent will be down the drain. So therefore, learn with the recovery point how to handle this and how to justify certain actions to achieve both goals, but do not compromise on the confidentiality and integrity. Let some availability go for this.